Vallis Sports Podcast. It's Jesse Vallis. I'm in the studio. We're in Little Rock, Arkansas over here, so we're Razorback fans. I got the Darren McFadden gear. He was my favorite Hog of all time. So that's what we're repping over here. On this channel, this is pretty much the introduction. I'm going to be talking all sports, not just SEC football, basketball, baseball. I'm going to talk NFL, NBA, boxing, UFC, anything worth covering, we're going to talk about it. It's just not going to be me, in my opinion. I'll have my brothers on here as well, and my nephew. That's why it's Vallis Sports Podcast. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this BYU Arkansas game breakdown. Crazy game. It was wild. That's what I got to say about it. I think Arkansas had a chance to put away that game multiple times and just couldn't put the nail in the coffin. 4th and inches, 6'3", 250-pound quarterback. We got a lineup under center. Quarterback sneak it, first down. We got the win. I think a lot of people felt that way and were mad that we didn't call the right play in the right time, and we lined up in a shotgun. Bad play calling. 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Slow developing run play. Get stopped. And it seems like Arkansas never learns this. We just keep doing it and shooting ourselves in the foot. So I thought that play calling was horrendous at times, situational. I thought we had good calls at times. We know our line is banged up. We know that our line wasn't blocking that well. It's an inexperienced line. We only have 2 returning starters from last year. So they were getting pressure on KJ. They were disrupting him, hitting him. Our tackles were getting dominated by their defensive ends. And I think he should have got out of the pocket. I think he should have became mobile. It looks to me like they're teaching him to stand in the pocket. Enos, Pittman, whoever, are teaching him to be a pocket passer and sit in the pocket. And that's great as long as the pocket's withholding and it's a good pocket. But when stuff starts to break down, you got to get out of the pocket and you got to move around and create a play. If nobody's open, you have to run. So I want to see more of that. It almost looks like he has regressed in that area instead of progressed. Looks like he has concrete blocks on his feet and he just stands there like a statue. KJ is talented, and in my opinion, he's the best quarterback in the SEC. I'd like to see him play like it, and that means being coached the right way and them letting him just play backyard football. Johnny Manziel, I'm not saying do all that crazy stuff. I'm just saying you got to let loose and you got to play ball. I want to see more throwing the ball on first down. We didn't stretch the field enough. We're predictable. We don't have enough balance. We're forcing the run. We can't move the ball at times. That's our problem. I think the defense played overall a good game. I think our punter shanked punts and gave them good field position. He was inconsistent all night. He'd do a 60-yard punt and then a 10-yard punt. So they had great field position, and we had some breakdowns on defense that led to touchdowns. A trick play. Safety Jaden Johnson bites on the run, comes up. You're not supposed to let anybody get behind you. He's wide open. Touchdown. So, and then they had that big run to that freshman back they had. Once again, our safeties came up too much and let the running back get behind him. They took themselves out of the play. We're out of position. They scored. So he wasn't even that fast. Paul, our linebacker, caught up with him in the end zone. So it was just a blown play by our defense that gave up some points. Other than that, they didn't have yards. We beat them everywhere but the scoreboard. The refs were calling our first downs back, our drives back. We had 5, 6 holding calls, all on first down, big plays that got called back. BYU didn't get called for holding, not once the whole game. I have the stats pulled up over here. Let me get to this real quick, and I'll kind of read some of this stuff off. We had more total yards, 424 to their 280. More passing yards, 100 more rushing yards. More yards per play, more first downs. Way more time of possession. We held the ball longer. They had it on here where we had the same third down efficiency, but they said they converted 4 out of 13. We only converted 2 out of 13. And we had one more turnover than they did. So we really should have won that game. The numbers don't lie. We beat them everywhere but the scoreboard. They had some outstanding plays, one-hand catches, 2 one-handed catches. It was crazy. It was wild. That game was wild to watch. But we're the better team. We had more talent. We should have beat them. We should have beat them well. We jumped up. We had leads. We couldn't put them away. Classic Arkansas. We've seen this a lot with Brett Bielema and Enos before. We'd get leads. Teams would come back and beat us. And we did that last year against Texas A&M. We jumped up 14-0, got stagnant. And our players' energy goes down too, and efforts go down too. So I said to myself, hope that doesn't happen again, and it did. So we got to work on that. We can't get complacent. We got to hammer them out. We're not satisfied until we get 50 on the scoreboard. We have to have that mentality. Don't squat on the football. Don't sit on the football. Until it's over, it ain't over. And 31 points isn't enough these days. So that's what I have to say about that game. With horrible situation play calling, you can't afford that many penalties. And your play calling has to be better. Your coaching and your playing execution, it all has to be better. Moving to the Arkansas LSU game this weekend in Death Valley at night after the BYU game, I said, we're going to get blew out. It's going to be 48-10. And it could go that way. But I think that we have a good caliber team and players, and if our coaches and our players can come together, we can either go down there and make it respectable or have a chance to win, or both. We don't want to go down there and get smacked and get blew out, and that's a possibility. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm being realistic. I just think that that's not going to happen. I don't think that it's going to happen, but it could. I want to play respectable. I think that we have to get pressure on Daniels. We have to disrupt him. We have to hit him. We have to force him out of the pocket. If we can do that, he's good on the run and all that, but I don't think he can keep getting hit the way he's getting hit. I don't think he will make it through the Arkansas game. He keeps running around, jumping in the air. I mean, he ain't KJ. He's skinny. So I always think KJ is the better quarterback. A lot of people want to say Daniels. I say KJ. Some said Milton. Well, I just think in a street fight, KJ versus Daniels, my money's on KJ. That's all I'm going to say. So we have to disrupt him. We have to play crisp football, coaching, execution. We can't make turnovers. We have to force them to make turnovers. And we have to play a clean, good game on all cylinders for us to come out there and win that game and to be respectable. We have to play a clean, good game. And that's just all there is to it. Or you could potentially go down there and get blew out and get embarrassed. And then after that, you have a hard schedule coming up for the next 4 games or so, where it's just you could potentially lose every single one of those games. So we don't want to see that happen. So we got to get our stuff together this week, and we got to come out there mad and looking for revenge and just play a good, solid football game. And I think we would have a chance to come back with the boot. If not, just be respectable. Come out there making mistakes, turning the ball over. it could get ugly real quick. And the referees, if you think they called that stuff against you at home, against BYU, you're not going to get any calls down there against LSU. So that can't even be a factor. You have to play such a good game that it don't matter. We all know LSU has talent. That's not a question. That's every year. So, with that being said, and finishing up on that, I'm not going to just talk about it too long. The SEC as a whole, I'd say Georgia still number one, top dogs. Kind of funny, but they're still number one to me in the East and the whole SEC as a whole. So I think Alabama is number one in the West and second in the SEC. A lot of people say LSU. People were saying Tennessee. Tennessee got beat by Florida in the swamp after Florida just lost to Utah. So it's still early. Anything could happen. I think that Milroe got sat down by Nick Saban, got taught a lesson, been in the film room. He knew that Milroe was his quarterback. He gave the other guys a shot. He didn't need Milroe to win that game. He ran the football. They had good defense that game. They played good Alabama defense. Shut them down, ran the football, and then they're going to bring Milroe back, and I think they're going to be a totally different Alabama team with the weeks going on. And I got Alabama winning the West. It's anybody's division, really. It's wide open, and it's so early, anything could happen. You don't know what's going to happen. This is college football only in week 4. So, that's my take. And the East is wide open for the second spot. Anything goes, and it's still early. So that's what I think about the SEC picture as a whole. I'm going to be watching everybody real close, and each week it's going to get different. These teams are going to look totally different halfway, game 5, game 6 than they did game 1, game 2, game 3. So I'm excited. I'm ready to see it. And I'm ready to hear what you guys think about it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel over here and talk about these sports. I want to know what y'all think about what's going on out here and get y'all's feedback on that. Some might agree, some might disagree, but that's okay. And I'll have other opinions on this show, with my brothers and my nephew. So it just won't be mine, and I'll have you guys' opinion too. So, and we'll see everything unfold. So that's just kind of how it goes. We like to talk sports. That's what we're gonna do. So I appreciate you guys for joining, and thanks for all the support and all the love. Y'all come back for the next episode. I'll be doing breakdowns on these games and recaps on those games as well. So appreciate it, and y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all next time.